There's a renewed call for the government to act urgently to protect children living in households where there is domestic violence. This as there are concerns about a 12-year-old girl who witnessed her father fatally shooting her mother and then killing himself on Walton Park Road in St. Andrew earlier this week. Children's advocate Diane Gordon Harrison says children living in these situations suffer emotional and psychological trauma. She's again urging the government to create legislation that will protect these children.
My position has always been consistent. As far back as 2016, I had made submissions to the Joint Select Committee of Parliament that was reviewing certain pieces of legislation to include the Domestic Violence Act, that domestic violence or homes in which domestic violence is practiced should be seen as a cause for concern and should in fact have children who live in those kinds of situations be deemed to be in need of care and protection, because there are so many things that can happen when a child lives in that kind of home. Apart from the possibility of a child being hurt in the crossfire, and we do have things like that happening, there is also the psychological impact that observing violence has on children.
Mrs. Gordon Harrison added that these incidents often affect children right up into adulthood.
We have very clear evidence to suggest that children live what they learn, and so if they see violence in the home, it means that they're thinking that violence is in fact an acceptable way of resolving conflict. So I'm very concerned about it, and this last incident is really just a stark example of what can happen when violence goes extremely bad.
Support services are being provided for the child who has been affected by the murder-suicide involving her parents.